Depending on how you interpret the audio, it can be heard as the final moments to a crime, where one of his friends yells at another friend for taking a life, while others suggest to cover it up. If you do interpret it this way, it could answer how Wells could just end up disappearing out of thin air. Now, a part of this interpretation, Wells' former teammate Bart Edmiston would be called out due to him seemingly being the person to angrily shout out, "Shut the F up," after panic would take over the boat, making it appear as if he had just finished doing something to Wells, in which you would also hear female passengers not being able to contain their emotions with what they were witnessing, as some are suggesting that they heard Nolan. On Wednesday, as more and more people accuse Edmiston as being a possible suspect, it appears that he and his family are now responding with their own attorney, conservative commentator Russ Latino, based in Mississippi.
All right. And in the words of that great philosopher from Philly, known as the Broad Street Bully or Beanie Siegel, the plot thickens. I quote, "I can feel it in the air." Peace and blessings. All praises to the Most High. And the scripture says a murderer's tormented conscience will drive him to the grave. Don't protect him. Now, first, I am not saying that Bart Edmiston is a murderer, but it sure looks like he is being protected now because he has lawyered up. Let me start this video by saying I am not accusing Bart Edmiston of anything. Everything I say on this video is for entertainment purposes only and sharing of information about what is currently going on in the media space. So with that being said, it seems because of the internet fervor yesterday when it was discovered that the great punter from Mississippi with the All-American possible NFL career allegedly dated Katie and was allegedly on that boat, which we hear the words that sound like, "Damn it, Bart." We have to be very careful now because this lawyer is not playing. I mean, he is coming out full force against anybody who attempts to defame the prestigious Mr. Bart Edmiston. Let me say that. Mr. Bart Edmiston Jr., the illustrious, the eloquent, the Esquire, Bart Edmiston Jr. But let's listen to what this lawyer has to say real quick before I come back with some more commentary.
Wednesday morning, Latino would announce that he is now joining the Edmiston family to clear Bart's name and go after anyone making defamatory statements. On Facebook, he will go on to write, "I have been retained by the family of Bart Edmiston to pursue people defaming him with wholly fabricated assertions of fact that are putting Bart, his family, and friends in harm's way. The family will put out a formal statement later today and announce the initiation of his first defamation lawsuit." Bart received a credible death threat yesterday because of some of that made-up speculation on this and other sites. The FBI, state, and local law enforcement have all been activated. But I wanted to share a few things for people who think it's a game to invent lies that could get other people killed. We have hired a private investigator firm to identify and track individuals engaged in defamation against the Edmistons. If you are young, naive, or lack the resources to pay a civil judgment, will not clear us from filing a lawsuit against you. This is not about money for my clients. They want to protect their family and they want to curb people who lie recklessly. If you make up something out of thin air or share something you don't know to be true, adding the word allegedly or saying people are reporting will not save you from a defamation lawsuit. We will address the falsehoods being presented methodically, but now is not the time for that. Now is the time to make very clear that we intend to be unrelenting against people who are lying online for clicks and likes. The Edmistons and the broader Ocean Springs community grieve for the loss of Nolan Wells. They want the truth and peace for Nolan's family. People making things up online that put others at risk are not honoring Nolan's life or loss. They're not bringing us closer to the truth, but pulling us away. This will be a large, potentially nationwide task. If you're a lawyer who believes that the rule of law, the presumption of innocence, and our very commitment to truth is in jeopardy and want to do something about it, please reach out to me privately. Now, before Latino...
Okay, so let's unpack that. because he said the FBI, the state police, and everybody has been activated for simply people discussing possible scenarios in the death of Nolan Wells online. If y'all were paying or activated this much attention to the death of Nolan Wells, then maybe we wouldn't have to, or they wouldn't have to be doing this allegations against Bart. Not me, because I know Bart is innocent. I know without a shadow of a doubt, Attorney Latino, that's your name, right? I know he's innocent. So don't even mind what I'm about to say. I know for a fact. Now, but let's break down what he said to the in the letter. I know he's innocent though, Latino. So now here he says, I have been retained by the family of Bart Edmiston to pursue people defaming him with wholly fabricated assertions of fact. Now he tried to throw some legal terms in there that are putting Bart, his family, and friends in harm's way. The family will put out a formal statement later today and announce the initiation. You know, some people feel like there's a lot of white supremacist gangs in Mississippi, and Nolan's death may have been an initiation. But nevertheless, of its first defamation lawsuit. Now, the typical white supremacist things is to make themselves the victim. They are putting old clear-cut, clean, professional, innocent, might I add, Russell Latino, Bart and his family in harm's way. Now, what more harm can you be with someone, not Bart, leaves you on an island and you somehow end up dead? Let's continue. Bart received a credible death threat yesterday because of some of the made-up speculation on this and other sites. The FBI, state, and local law enforcement have been activated. Activated. What does that mean? Y'all putting more energy and time into Facebookers and TikTokers, not me, but those guys who are accusing Bart, than you are putting in the efforts to find out what really happened to Nolan. But also, you said it's a credible threat. Must not be too credible because our dear, lovely, innocent, might I add, Bart is still living. Let's continue. But I wanted to share a few things for people who think it's a game to invent lies that could get other people killed. Well, nobody's inventing a lie here, but what about Nolan Wells, who was killed? That's what we are talking about. So why don't you put some of this energy in finding out what happened to Nolan, Russell? We have hired a private investigative firm to identify and track individuals in defamation against the Edmonstons. Okay, they're just basically saying, oh, we don't want y'all to talk. Shut up and dribble, or shut up and punt like the all-American innocent Bart. That you are young, naive, or lack resources to pay a civil judgment will not deter us from filing a lawsuit against you. This is not about money for clients. They want to protect their family, and they want to curb people who lie recklessly. Okay. Well, once again, I haven't really heard anybody lie. I heard a lot of people suspect, reasonable suspicion, as the police use, that some of these people on the boat and some of the people mentioned in the calls and in the interviews may know more than what they are saying. But not me, though. I know Bart is innocent. If you make up something out of thin air or share something you don't know to be true, adding the word allegedly or saying people are reporting will not save you from a defamation lawsuit. Wait a minute. What do you mean? I can say, hey, he said Russell is fat. Does that mean I'm defaming you, Russell? No, that just means, hey, he said it. That is a true fact, right? Let's continue. We will address the falsehoods being presented methodically. But now it is not time for that. Now is the time to make very clear that we intend to be unrelenting against people who are lying online for clicks and likes. Well, why not be unrelenting about, the situation behind Nolan Wells' suspected murder? The Edmonsons and the broader Ocean Springs community grieve for the loss of Nolan Wells. They want the truth and peace for Nolan's family. People make things up online that put others at risk or not honoring no. So now they want to play the moral honor code, right? But none of his friends know what happened to him and they left him on the beach, right? But that's honorable. They are not bringing us closer to the truth, but pulling us away. Well, just give us the truth. You guys know it down there in Ocean Springs. This will be a large, potentially nationwide task. And if you're a lawyer who believes that the rule of law and the presumption of innocence and our very commitment to truth is in jeopardy, and I want you to do something about it, please reach out to me privately. This is what the man said. Basically, what all of this adds up to say, shut up or we're going to sue you with our high-powered team and with the help of the police. You know, don't be talking about our sweet all-American innocent, might I add, here at Taylor House Publishing, Bart. You know, don't be talking about him because, you know, he was in a vicinity where, you know, someone may have lost their life under nefarious condition, but not Bart. He didn't do anything. So just let me make that clear. All right. And also, right, in addition to this lawyer's soliloquy, they say Bart's mother even chimed in. Let's take a listen to what she has to say.
Privately. Now, before Latino would release his statement, Bart's own mother on Tuesday would break her own silence after her son was accused of wrongdoings related to the case of Nolan Wells. While responding to a user on Facebook, she would clarify a previous comment that Bart looks to have made about the last time he was in a certain part of Mississippi, causing some to accuse him of lying. His mother would go on to say, "You are steering the pot by reposting things that are not factual, and you have manipulated words." He said he has not been in past Christian Mississippi in a year, which is where that picture was taken. He was clarifying that he was not present there. He never said he was not in Mississippi. I have a screenshot of it if you need me to send that to you. He is playing football out of state and was only home, Ocean Springs, for a few days in July and was on the boat that towed the boat that Nolan declined going on because he wanted to stay behind. The audio.
See how she conveniently spreads the narrative? You know, she made it a point to say that Nolan declined going on because he wanted to stay beside. How do we know that? You may be defaming Nolan's character because we don't know what he did. Only thing nobody knows, dead man tell no tale. So we don't know what he did, but you don't know that either. So stop defaming Nolan. But your son Bart is innocent, and you are too. Let's continue.
That you were referring to is not as you guys see. They were panicking and creating a plan to get the boat saved from sinking. The newest news has been reported that Nolan was seen on the island after the two boats left. And there are pictures from my son's boat of the boat about to be towed. And clearly Nolan is not on the boat. So for all you internet investigators, your plot to accuse my child of something is not warranted. And it will come out sooner than later that he did not harm Nolan. And believe me, those who slander his name without warranted will be held accountable for their words.
Basically, they're threatening people who have suspicion about what happened to Nolan Wells. This is white supremacy at work, right? They can throw rocks and hide their hand. And when we say, hey, you hit me with a rock, oh, stop talking about me. I'm going to get my lawyers. But not Bart and Miss Edmiston. No, not those good. These are some good white people. All right? Y'all are the best white people this side of the Mason-Dixon line. But those other white people who possibly killed the black boy on the ocean, now they are out of line. But here we see, man, this is amazing. You know, a young black boy goes out with his friends and nobody has answers, and the whole entire world are digging for answers and speaking possible facts about what may have happened. And now the whole internet investigation, FBI, CIA, DEA, Homeland Security, ICE is going to be searching for internet people who have possibly defamed innocent Bart, might I add, Man, this is racism right here. This is racism. Not Bart and Miss Edmiston, though. Just the whole entire world is filled with racism. Nevertheless, man, y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments, man. This is amazing. You can't make this up. Why were these statements not made before yesterday when people have claimed that Bart dated Katie? Now, I simply asked a question on my last video because I just heard so many say, listen, y'all let me know what y'all think about this video in the comments. Y'all see the number 919-587-7782. Thank y'all for liking, watching, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And as always, I pray you have peace and blessings.
And as the scripture says, all things that are hidden shall be revealed, and those things done in secret shall be exposed on the mountaintop.
Let's go, Rich. Let's go. You watching Fella House Publishing, making news coverage. Give you the truth before betting news, don't run it before the jury decide and the judge discover it. You should tune in to Fella House Publishing. Fella House Publishing, making news coverage. The propaganda grammar, don't believe none of it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it. You should tune in to Fella House Publishing. Who keep the people informed? All stories abroad from literary work where the narrative's wrong. The research is always on point. The commentary is hard. As Rich Teller raises the bar, follow along, shout out to FBA, still FTP, big up NFAC, and all my black families. There's three sides to all stories. Which one you gonna believe? We run down on the false prophets when they come to deceive. 100% urban world news, current events. We don't like the lies. Media's wise. Speak of God size, ladies and just power. If you don't know by now, look around me, the darkest hours. Cops squeezing hammers, they don't understand. Stop the freaks with our hands to kill us all like cancer. Don't speculate for the facts. On the case, tell our house, set up straight while smoking Richard Vest. You got your Tell Our House Publishing, breaking news coverage. Give you the truth before fake news go butted it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it. You should tune in to Tell Our House Publishing. Tell Our House Publishing, breaking news coverage. The propaganda grammar, don't believe none of it. Before the jury decide and the judge discover it. You should tune in to Tell Our House Publishing.
Negroes have listened to the trickery and the lies and the false promises of the white man now for too long. And they're fed up. They become disenchanted. They become disillusioned. They become dissatisfied. And all of this has built up frustrations in the black community that makes the black community throughout America today more explosive than all of the atomic bombs the Russians can ever invent.
Tell a house of a shit. Tell a house. Tell a house of a shit. Tell a house. Tell a house of a shit. Tell a house. Tell a house of a shit. Tell a house. Tell a house of a shit. Tell a house. Tell a house publishing.